What's up guys, this is Cody here, and today I'm going to be going over the top 100 free Cydia tweaks for you guys that you can download in Cydia right now. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me like nonstop for a top tweak video, and I wanted to do something big, so we're doing 100, and they're all free. I think that's pretty big. So if you guys appreciate this, I would definitely appreciate a like on this video. It really helps me out because this video is no small feat. This takes a while. So let's go ahead and jump into these tweaks. That way we don't make this video longer than it needs to be. First up, we have a tweak called 20-second lock screen, which basically needs no explanation. It gives you 20 seconds on your lock screen before it starts to dim, which can be really helpful if you guys like to look at your notifications for more than like 5 seconds before it dims. Next up, we have a tweak called 3D no lag. So what this does is get rid of the lag when you invoke 3D touch on an application. So for instance, if we press down on the settings icon, you can see that it didn't have any lag whatsoever, which is something that bugs a lot of people. So it also can get rid of the blur in the background so you can see what that looks like. There's still a little bit of a haze, but it does get rid of most of that blur in the background. Next, we have a tweak called delete forever. So what this does is give you the option of permanently deleting a photo when you try to put it in the trash. So this basically bypasses the recently deleted album. If you're a fan of theming your battery, then you should download Alkaline. So you can see that my battery looks a little bit different there, and that is because of Alkaline. So basically you just want to enable it, and then you have 3 options to choose from. But you can actually download several different themes in Cydia. So if you want to try these out, or if you want to download another custom one, then check them out in Cydia. Next is a tweak called Always More for Spotlight. So you can see if we swipe over for Spotlight, we have more series suggestions here for contacts as well as applications. Here's a tweak called Appendix. So what this does is if you 3D press on a folder, it's actually going to give you all the applications within that folder that you can just tap on rather than opening up the folder. And the number that actually show up here is customizable. So if you only want to show the first 3 or the first 4, then you can do that right there in the settings. Apple File Conduit 2 is something that you have to have on your device for jailbreak purposes, but it's also a very useful tweak. What it does is allow you to connect your phone to your computer and actually search through the file system on your computer using an application like iFunbox. Next is a tweak called Cuttlefish, and you'll have to add a repo to download this tweak, and I'll have all repos in the description below. But what this does is when you 3D press on an application, it takes the color of the application and uses that as a tint for the blur in the background. So for instance, if we 3D press on the App Store, there should be a blue tint, as you can see right there. Or let's just do the Apple Watch, and you can see the black tint, even though nothing came up there. Let's do messages. So you can see green. So that's basically what Cuttlefish does. Next is a tweak called Bars. So you can see what it does is basically give you a more granular look at your data signal. So this is what it's going to give you up there in the status bar. I actually don't have a SIM card in this phone, so you can't see it, but it does work. And you can see an animation of how this actually works right there. Next is a tweak called Barricade. And what it does is basically give you the ability to put applications here on your lock screen, and you can put more than one. You can even change the size of them in the settings. And what you do in order to quickly launch those applications from the lock screen is you grab the application and you pull it down. So you can see that little animation, and when you bring it all the way down, it opens up directly into that application. You guys have probably already noticed this, but I have more icons on my springboard than you normally can, and that is due to better 5-column home screen. So that's basically going to give you 5 rows of icons right across your springboard. Not only that, but I have another tweak called Better 5 Icon Dock. So you can see that allows you to put 5 icons right there in your dock. Blurred is a keyboard tweak that's going to give you a dark keyboard throughout iOS. Next, we have blurry badges, and what blurry badges does is take the dominant color of the application and put that in the background of the notification badge, as you can see right there for Game Center. We also have it over here for FaceTime, so you can see green, but it's actually a little bit blurred, so there's blurry badges for you. Next is a really cool tweak called Cream, and Cream has actually been implemented into iOS 10. What it does is change the color of your toggles here. So for instance, you can see that my Wi-Fi toggle is green. I also have a location services, which is a little bit different color than the normal white. It's got more of like an orange tint to it, and right here is more of a red tint. If we swipe over here, you can see Bluetooth is more of a blue tint. So that's basically what Cream does. Breadcrumbs Away gives you the ability to swipe away breadcrumbs on your device. So if you guys don't know, This right here, back to messages, is called breadcrumbs. So I can actually swipe that away and it goes away completely. Next up is a tweak called browser changer. So what this does is give you the ability to change your default browser on your device. So all you have to do is tap on default browser, and if you have any of these installed on your device, then you can use that as the default browser. So we'll just use Chrome, and you can see now if I go back into my messages and we tap on yahoo.com, it's going to open up right in Chrome. Next is a tweak that you probably want on your device, and it is called Beta Font 3. So what that does is allow you to change your system-wide font on your device. Now here's the application. You can actually look through the application to find fonts, but I find it easier to actually look in Cydia. So you can just tap on Cydia, tap on the sources tab right here, tap on all sources, and then scroll down here to fonts and make sure you're tapping on Beta Font 3 right there, and then go through all of these fonts. There is a ton of them, so definitely worth checking out. Next, we have several tweaks in the control center. So the first one is CC separator, which you can actually see takes away all those separators that are usually just lines for each segment of the control center. Next is a tweak called CC color. So you can actually change the color of your control center to any color that you want. So you can see right here that it's more of a blue color, and you basically just change it up in your settings. So if we scroll down here to CC color, open that up, just make sure that it's enabled, and then pick the color that you want your control center to be. Next, we have CC loader. So what CC loader does is allow you to hide sections of your control center. So for instance, if we wanted to hide the media controls, then I can just go into settings. This is CC loader, and then I would just take the media controls, drag it here to disabled locations or sections, and you can see that it's completely gone from the control center. Next up is a tweak called CC meters, and you probably noticed all the dynamic numbers changing down here at the very bottom, and that is due to CC meters. So this is the CPU, this is how much free RAM we have, this is how much free disk space we have, and this is the upload and download speed that we're currently using. So that's basically what that does. It's actually pretty cool if you guys are looking for how much RAM you want. You can also hide portions of these as well. So if you want to get rid of one or hide one, like download speed and upload speed, you can just drag these down, swipe up, you can see it's only going to show CPU, free RAM, and free disk space. Here's a tweak called C-Circle. So if we go ahead and open up the control center, you can see that we have circular icons for the quick launch apps, and that is due to C-Circle. You probably also noticed as I'm scrolling through the settings that I have circular icons over here in the settings, and that is due to a tweak called circle icons. Next up, we have a tweak called CC background. So what that does is allow you to set any image to the background of your control center. Here we have cylinder. So if you want to change the page animations as you scroll through your pages, then you can do so with cylinder. So there is a ton of animations to choose from. Right now I just have a bunch selected and I put it on random, so it just uses a random animation. But you can obviously set this up to one page animation if you want to, but there is a ton to choose from. Detailed battery usage is a tweak that gives you a more detailed look at your battery usage. So you can see your battery level right here. So it's basically just a graph that you can see. You also see down here that you have the last 24 hours and 3 days. So this is something that's very similar to what you kind of have already, but this is just literally much more detailed, as you can see. So total drain is 37% of the battery, active usage almost 2 hours, and then it has obviously the percentage of battery that's using all of your battery power. Now keep in mind that I am doing a ton of stuff on Cydia right now. This is not like normal, so if you have Cydia just running in the background or something, it's not going to be using obviously as much as this is right here. Here we have a tweak called Ethos. So what this does is allow you to play music like I'm doing right now and then open up games. So normally games that turn off music in the background and just play basically their music and their sound effects, this is going to bypass that. Now another thing that this tweak does, you can see if we open up our camera, you'll notice that the music stops. But the cool thing about it is the second we get out of it, it's going to pick up right where it left off. So that's just a nice touch as well. Face down is a really nice tweak to have because what it does is when you put your device face down, it locks your device, as you can see right there. We also have a tweak called CC settings. So if we pull up our control center here, you can see that we have a ton of toggles up here as we swipe across. So that's what CC setting does. It's going to give you a lot more customization as well as a lot more toggles. So you can even see that we have a low power mode toggle right there. So that's really nice. Next, we have a tweak called Flat Safari URL. So if we open up Safari, you'll see that what it does is change that URL bar to a flat look. And in my opinion, it just looks a whole lot better. Now you probably noticed the glowing of my icons here. And that is actually due to a tweak called Glow Badge. So when you have a notification or badge notification on particular applications, then your icon is actually going to glow. So you can hide the notifications completely. Now this tweak right under here, so it says like 2 messages, that is a completely different tweak, and that is called Googes. So what Googes does is give you the ability to basically put the notification under the application with a very different look. Of course, both of these tweaks, the Glow Badge and Googes, are very customizable, so you can make them look completely different. You can use completely different colors as well. So definitely worth checking out if you like the idea. Now here on the lock screen, you'll notice we have another application down here in the left-hand corner, and that is the Cydia icon. So this is actually due to a tweak called Grabber App 8. So you can obviously set this up to whatever application that you want to, and then if you just swipe up on it, and if you have a passcode, you'll obviously have to enter it, but you can see it's going to open up directly to the application that you specify. Here we have a tweak called Hot Dog, and this tweak has actually expanded to have a lot more features than it used to from the last time that I used it. So you can see right here, just one of the features is the ability to change the text on the passcode screen. So you can change the text right up here. You can change the emergency text down here. If we go ahead and let's go ahead and unlock it, and I'll just do a quick look at all the stuff that you can change. So you can go into status bar and you can change the text here, as well as the lock screen date and time, slide to unlock text, passcode view, call UI, power down view, notifications. There's just a ton of stuff that you can customize within this tweak. Now you probably noticed in my dock down here that my icons are bouncing around, as that is due to a tweak called Icon Bounce. So right now it's actually using all of the animations that the tweak has available, and it's just randomizing them. So you can obviously customize this to use only a specific type of animation. You can change the speed in which they animate and all kinds of good stuff in the settings of this tweak. Incognito messages only sends read receipts when you start to send a message. So that means that basically if you open up your text message and you see the actual message that was sent, it's not going to send a read receipt if you have those turned on. It's only going to send a read receipt once you actually start typing in the message here. Instabetter is an Instagram tweak that gives you a ton of functionality. Highly recommend it. Basically what it does, if you see, you can swipe over here, open up Instagram, and it does a ton of different stuff. Just some of the stuff that it does, you can see if we long press on a picture, it's actually going to load a high resolution picture. That way you can zoom in and look at the picture itself. Also, you can see if we go to the user, you can see if the person is actually following you. It'll tell you that right there. Also in your home, you can see that I have a grid view. So you can basically show a grid view rather than having to swipe through each picture at a time. So pretty cool. But that's definitely not all the features of Instabetter. You should definitely check this out for yourself. Now, if you don't have Activator on your device, then you're jailbreaking wrong. This thing gives you a ton of functionality. You can see if we go ahead and open it up, that basically what it does is give you the ability to use gestures and assign that to perform a specific action. So for instance, if we wanted to use another tweak that I have installed here called Last App. So let's just go over here to 3-finger pinch, and you can see that I've actually assigned this to Last App. So that means when I use a 3-finger pinch on my device, it's actually going to perform the tweak Last App. So you can see right here, if I go ahead and let's just say I'm going to open up settings. So now when I do a 3-finger pinch, it should open up Activator because Last App opens up the last app that I was just in. So we do a 3-finger pinch and you can see it opens right up to Activator. Lock Glyph is a lock screen tweak that you can see right here. It basically has a fingerprint, which you can obviously customize to whatever color you want. And the animation color is customizable as well. So you can see when I start to scan my finger, you'll hear a little animation sound as well as the animation color changing. Now there's actually a lot of different themes you can download for Lock Glyph, so you can use rather than just a fingerprint, you can actually use any graphic that you want if you want to create it, or you can obviously look for pre-made graphics in Cydia. mTerminal is a must-have tweak on my jailbroken device just because I need it a lot of the time. So if you don't actually need a terminal, or if you don't know how to use a terminal, then you're probably not going to need this tweak. But if you do need a terminal and you need it mobily, then this is definitely a tweak that you want to check out. The Messages Customizer tweak is the ultimate messages customizer. So basically what it does is give you the ability to change a lot, almost everything, pretty much everything in your Messages app. So you can see I've changed the background color of my app as well as the color of the top bar and the keyboard down here. So there's just a ton of stuff that you can do. You can change this to basically a picture if you want to. You can change the color of the bubbles that you send, as well as change it to a different color for the bubbles that are sent to you. There's just a ton of stuff that you need to dive into to check out for yourself. You know what I love about iOS 9 is this big ass volume HUD right here on this device. Said no one ever. So this next tweak is actually called minimal HUD. So what it does is get rid of that massive obtrusive volume HUD. So you can see if I hit the volume button, it's right over here on the side and it's very minimal. And this is exactly what Apple should do. I still can't believe they haven't implemented something like that in iOS 10. The next tweak we have here is called Mobius. This is a really cool tweak. What it does is allow you to page from the last page to the first page. So usually if you try to swipe across, it wouldn't go anywhere, but you can see that we are continually going back from the last page to the first page right there, and that's what Mobius does. Now, if you want to use Mobius, then you're going to want to get a tweak called Spotlight Be Gone. So you'll notice if I swipe over here to the left, I'm not getting that spotlight and all those app and contact recommendations, and that's because Spotlight Be Gone has been enabled, and that allows me to use Mobius as intended. Another must-have tweak for jailbreakers is multi-icon mover. So what this does is allow you to get into wiggle mode, which I'll do right here, and then you can tap on applications to move them. So let's just move these three down here. And you can see you just hit the home button to whatever page you want to, and it moves all of those applications in the order that you tap them. Next, we have a tweak called NC Reveal 9. So what it does is change the animation when you swipe down your notification center. So you can see right here that it basically unfolds the entire notification center. So we'll just swipe down right there. Same thing for when you swipe back up. The next notification center tweak we have is called NC If Needed. So if you have notifications in your notification center, then it's going to open up directly to your notification center. So you can see if I even tap on today and then I swipe down here, it's going to open up to the notifications. But if we clear out all of these notifications, now it's going to open up to the Today tab, as you can see right there. Still need to send in my tax forms from 2015, I guess. Now, I mentioned this next tweak in one of my previous videos, but it is no App Store redirect. Now, this is a crucial tweak for me anyways, because browsing through Cydia, you will sometimes, a lot of the times, get pop-ups that want to redirect you to the App Store. So you can actually get rid of that by using no App Store redirect. So if we go ahead and scroll down here, you can see you want to enable it and then always block in Cydia. And that's really all that I use it for. Respring your device and then you're golden. Next is a tweak called PM Really. So if you haven't heard of this tweak, then you might want to check it out if you sometimes screw up your alarm. So here in your alarm section, if you add an alarm and you actually add it for PM, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want it for PM? Because most people don't set alarms for PM. So if they're setting alarm for the morning to wake up, you can see if you try to save it, it says PM Really. Did you really mean to set this alarm for PM? Then you can obviously tap yes I did or no. So this can really save yourself some headache in the morning if you accidentally set your alarm for PM. Next is a tweak called Phone App No Fave. This is a simple tweak that basically hides your favorites from the bottom tab right here. So if you don't actually set favorites and you don't want that tab in there, then you can hide it with this tweak. Next up, we have a tweak called Repower. So what this does is give you a different look for when you try to power down your device. So if you hold down the power button, you'll notice that we have 4 sliding options. So you can slide to enter safe mode, slide to respring, slide to reboot, or slide to power off. It's also going to give you a small status bar right up here giving you the system uptime. Now, if you're not a huge fan of the look of Repower, then you can use a tweak called Power Tap. So if we go ahead and hold down the power button once again, you'll notice that we have just a single slider. And if we tap on the button, you'll see that changes from power down to reboot, to respring, to safe mode. So you can basically just tap on that and then slide it over, and that's actually going to do whatever action it says it's going to do. Here we have a tweak called Priority Hub. So if you get multiple notifications from different applications, then it's actually going to list all the applications right up here with the app icon and the number of notifications you have from that particular app. So it's actually going to allow you to sort through those. So here you can see that I actually have just one notification from my messages. If I had messages from Tweetbot or notifications from Tweetbot, then there would be another Tweetbot icon right here that I could tap on. So we would just basically tap on the icon that you can see right there, and it's going to show you those notifications. So a really cool and easy way to organize your notifications on your lock screen. Now, having an easy way to respring your device is very helpful, especially for me because I install and uninstall a whole lot of tweaks and I make a lot of changes to tweaks. So you can see right here, if we go into settings, there's actually a tweak called pull to respring. So all you would do is just go to the top of your settings and then pull down. And once you do that, it's going to respring your device. If we open up Safari here, you can see there's a couple of tweaks I want to talk about. One of them is Safari tab count, which you can see right there. So basically what that does is give you the number of tabs you have open in the little tab button right there. So that's pretty nice to have. The next thing is Safari close all tabs. And the reason I like this tweak is it gives you the ability to close all the tabs at the same time, but it also gives you the ability to save tabs if you don't want to delete one of them or close one of them. So what you would do is just hold two fingers and you'll see it actually locks that particular tab right there. So then we can just tap on the X and it's going to close all the tabs. So it should close all the tabs except for this one right here, which it does perfectly. Next, we have a tweak called Smooth Cursor. So what this tweak does is basically make your cursor move smoothly throughout your typing. So rather than jumping from character to character like normal, it's actually going to be really smooth. So you can see right here, if I just start to type, you can see that it's actually moving very smoothly across all of that. Next is a tweak called Speed Intensifier. So what this does is basically speed up all the animations on your device. So that includes opening and closing applications. And you can see right here, if we go down to the settings for Speed Intensifier, there's actually several speeds in which you can choose from. So you can see you have from 2 times all the way up to 9 times and infinity. So this is actually really quick. If you do it to the infinity, it basically there's no animation, so it'll just like literally open up immediately if you try to open up or close applications. But I like the nice speed up in the animations, and if you do too, you should definitely check it out. Now here on the lock screen, if you swipe over, you can see that I now have Roman numerals for my passcode, and that's due to a tweak called Roman passcode. Here we have a tweak called send delay. So you can see right here, if you accidentally send something and you don't want to send it, then you can tap on stop and it won't actually send. So again, you tap on send, you tap on stop before it actually sends, and it's not going to send it. Now you'll see right up here that I actually have changed the color of my status bar. And you can do that too. You can change it to whatever color that you want, and that is due to status bar color. If we start a timer here, you'll actually see that we have the timer right there in the status bar. So that's just helpful to have so you don't actually have to open up your clock app in order to see how much time is left. And that's due to status bar timer. Now you'll see here on the status bar that I've changed some things up. So I've added the date as well as a different time format and the available free RAM. So you can do this all with a tweak called status modifier. And there's actually a whole lot more that you can do with it that you can add right into your status bar. Just useful information that you need if you want to just get that info at a glance. Another messages tweak is called return to sender. So what this does is basically replace this return button with a send button. So rather than hitting the return button, you actually hit this and it sends. Now keep in mind that if you use this, it's not going to use the send delay. So if you use this button and you have send delay installed, then it's not going to delay the text message send. Here on my springboard, you can see that my dock looks a little bit different, and that is due to round dock. So it basically just gives those rounded off corners and brings it down to the edge rather than running it all the way to the edge. If you don't have a 3D touch device and you still want to be able to move your cursor very easily through your text, then you should download Swipe Selection. So you can see right here, if I just put the cursor right there, you can actually swipe across to move that cursor. So it makes pinpointing that cursor just a whole lot easier. A very helpful tweak that I've been using throughout this video is Swipe for More. So you can see right here, if I open up my Cydia, Swipe for More is going to give us some options if we swipe on tweaks. So for instance, if I go into my installed tweaks, you can see if I swipe on it, then we can queue remove, we can queue reinstall, or we can remove. So this just makes things a whole lot easier. So if I wanted to queue remove, I tap on that, it loads it up and then dismisses it. So that basically saves me several taps. So you can see I tap right here, I would tap modify, I would tap remove, and then I would tap continue queuing. So rather than doing that, you can literally just swipe and tap once. So definitely worth it. Tactful is a tweak that brings 3D touch to Cydia. So if it's here on your springboard, You just 3D touch on it and it gives you those options. Now, if you want to bring your app switcher back to old school style, you can download a tweak called Vintage Switcher. So you can see right here, if I double press, that we have basically the iOS 6 style app switcher right here. You also notice that I have a little Apple logo right up there in the top left corner of the status bar, and that is due to Zeppelin. So Zeppelin gives you a ton of different options in terms of what type of logo you want to put up there in the status bar. So this is one that's been around forever, and it's something I always have on my device. And this is what it comes with, and there's a ton that you can actually download in Cydia. So definitely worth checking out if you want to customize that carrier logo. Next, we have a folder tweak called Folder 6 Plus. So if I swipe over here to my folder, you can see that this is actually now a 4x4 grid rather than just the 3x3. Also, another tweak installed is Full Folder 9. So if I try to open this up, it's actually going to give you a full screen folder. So it's going to show all the apps in here in your folder. So it looks pretty cool. Next up, we have a tweak called Icon Art. So what Icon Art does is basically take the album artwork of the music that's playing in a particular app and then replace the icon of that app with the album artwork, as you can see right here. So right now I'm playing Macklemore, and you can see that this is Macklemore album artwork, as you can see right there. Next, we have a tweak called App Color Close. So what this does is basically change the color of the X when you're in wiggle mode, when you're going to delete an application, to basically just the color or the dominant color of that particular app icon. If you like a more iOS 10 style control center, then you can download a tweak called Floater. So you can see right here that basically what it does is round out the corners of the actual control center. So it also does it on the notification center, as you can see right here. So you can still see some edges on the side right there, as well as the rounded corners on each of the edges. Flash Ring is a tweak that utilizes the mute switch on the side of your phone to turn on your flashlight. So it makes it a whole lot easier if your phone is locked, then you don't have to worry about having to unlock your device in order to turn on that flashlight. Icon Renamer is a helpful tweak if you ever have the desire to rename any of your icons. So for instance, if we wanted to, let's just do Cydia here, and we will rename this to Cydia 2 for no reason whatsoever. But you can see now it says Cydia 2. So you can change the name of any icon on your springboard. If you want to change the color of your notification center, then you can do so with NC Color. So you can change it to basically any color that you want to. You can see that I've changed mine to purple, but there's basically just a color wheel and you can choose whatever color that you want to. Next is a really simple tweak called Tinge. What it does is basically change the color of your switches. So you can change this with pre-made colors, or you can make a custom color right here. So let's just say that we wanted to change this to purple Disturb. So we go back here. You can see that it actually changed to red for some reason. So if we tap right here, there's the purple. Let's change this back to, let's do gray light. And you can see that it changed right there. So it just kind of messed up on the first one. So if we want to do rose gold, you can see that that's working as well. Record and Torch is a helpful tweak if you ever have to record video in the dark. So what it does is basically give you the ability to use the flash on video. So you just tap on right there, and then you can start to record with the flash on. Another camera tweak we have here is called Tap Tap Flip, which basically allows you to just tap on the screen twice and it's going to flip the camera, just like that. Now, if you're going for a more minimalistic look, then you can actually install Wink. What Wink does is basically hide your status bar until you tap on it. So you can see as I tap on it, it'll show up, but it'll actually fade away right there. Next, if you look down at my dock, it's actually transparent, and that is due to a tweak called Transparent Dock. So if you're looking for a more clean look, then definitely check that out. Next is another throwback. If you go to the lock screen here, you'll notice that we have an old school unlock sound right here. And that is due to a tweak called Unlock Sound. Now you may have noticed here on the lock screen as well that I've actually moved my status bar to the bottom of the screen, and that's due to a tweak called Bottom Bar. Cask is a really cool visual tweak that you'll have to add a repo for that's from Ryan Petrich, but basically what it does is you can see as I'm scrolling through the settings here that we have that nice little cascading animation. And you can change the animation as well. It has some fade animations as well as a couple others that you can try out for yourself. Swipey folders is pretty cool. You can see if we swipe over here that it's showing the very first application in the folder. So if I wanted to open up the folder, what I would do is swipe up on that folder. if I wanted to open up the very first application, which is the compass, I would just tap on it and it opens right up. And you can even set it up where you can double tap on the folder and it's going to open up the second application. Now, what jailbroken phone would be complete without iCleaner? Not one of them. So if you guys don't know what iCleaner is, it is a very awesome tweak that basically cleans up all the unnecessary files that you have on your device. So for instance, if I just tap clean right here, it's basically going to give us quite a bit more space. All right, so now it's there and you can see that it's freed up 262 megabytes. And I have like nothing on this device. So that's actually quite a bit of space for how much space I'm actually using up on this phone. Next is Safari Refresh. So basically what this does is give you an easy way to refresh any website that you're on in Safari. So all you have to do is swipe down and it's going to refresh that page. Here you'll see a tweak called Spin Settings that creates a dynamic settings icon, which basically is just sitting there spinning. You can actually customize the speed in which this thing spins. We also have a keyboard tweak called Keyboard Vibrate 8. So what this does is basically vibrate on every key press, which you can hear right there. Now it's not as good as Haptic Pro, but it is a free alternate version, so you can check that out. And last but not least, we have a tweak called Harbor. Now Harbor is a really cool dock tweak. You can see right here that I have several applications down here. You can actually put as many as you want. And the size of the icons actually dynamically change depending on how many icons you put in the dock here. Now if you tap on one of the icons, it'll actually bounce, as you can see right there. You can actually drag your finger across as well. So this is a really cool tweak and it has a lot of features that you can test out just by hopping in the settings and checking it out. All right guys, that is 100 free Cydia tweaks to get you guys started. Of course, I'm going to be doing a whole lot more Cydia tweak videos as well as the perfect jailbreak setup. If you guys want to see that, make sure you let me know in the comments below and also by hitting this like button. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments below what your favorite tweak is. It doesn't have to be in this video, just overall, what's your favorite tweak? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you guys want to stay up to date with everything jailbreak and everything Apple and everything tech, make sure you hit that subscribe button and I will see you guys in the next video.